It never rains but it pours. I have to go back to the breast clinic. I have arranged a telephone conversation with Dr. Orange, a cancer expert, and after my hospital visit on Thursday, we'll know more what I have to face.
I'm having a lovely time on holiday in Portugal. We went on a ship called Patricia. I've decided not to eat fish, and I may not even eat meat.
I went to get your key. I couldn't find it. I'm so sorry. I felt dreadful and searched my whole house. If any of your plants have died, you must let me replace them. I hope your holiday was good.
Isn't it fun? The expression of the reflected face of the cat.
I enjoyed my visit, not only for the food, but your bread and cake are always wonderful, plus the fact that you stimulate the grey matter in an entertaining manner. P.S. Do you think we will ever get rid of this government?
We do hope you're well and that your eyes aren't troubling you too much.
I have been trying to reach you the past days by telephone, and I have had no success.
After the memorial service, I found myself at 2 requiem masses, and both were quite different but beautiful, underlining the mystery of life and death.
I found these postcards in the secondhand bookshop where I work. Nobody knows who dropped them off. For 20 pence each, the customers buy them for the well-known paintings on the front. I didn't think much of them until I read the messages on the back. What made them more interesting was that they were all addressed to the same person.
Dear Peter. Dear Peter.
Dear Peter.
Dear Peter.
Dear Peter.
Dear Peter.
Dear Peter.
Dear Peter.
Dear Peter.
Dear Peter.
Dear Peter.
Dear Peter.
Dear Peter.
Dear Peter.
Dear Peter.
Dear Peter.
The postcards span 70 years and create a picture of the life of Peter. But who was he? I wanted to find out more. His address was always on the back, so I wrote him a letter. I never got a response. Sometimes friends included theirs. I wrote to them as well, but still nothing. These postcards are Peter's legacy. Knowing that we sold them to customers makes me realise how disposable life can be. Is this all that happens when our time is up? What is the mystery of life and death? I received a letter. Dear Scott Willis, the letter you wrote to Joyce has been passed on by her to me. She was mystified by your letter, but I can explain the situation to you. I am approaching 90. As I found living alone difficult of late, I decided to move into a small retirement flat. This involved downsizing, and amongst my possessions were several thousand postcards, as I had suddenly to get rid of so much before my death. This is, I suppose, how you got to know about me. With kind regards, Peter.
Peter?
Hi, Peter.
Hello?
Hi, it's Scott from Scotland.
Oh, hello, Scott. How are you? I was wondering why I hadn't heard, but you did get my letter then.
I did.
How are you?
Oh, I'm very well. How are you?
Yeah, Mum, bearing up. I'm trying to get used to a dental plate in my upper jaw. Otherwise, I'm okay. Thank you.
Oh, you sound fine. It's great just hearing your voice. Hello, Peter? Hello there.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. Okay.
I just wondered what you were doing. It's taking a long time. What are you doing?
I'm just taking a picture of the books.
Can you take them without standing in front of them?
What do you mean?
Well, you only get a view straight across. What would you see? Just a line of books.
I was trying to zoom into the...
Oh, I see. It's always a sad day when there's nothing here. Oh, post. Isn't that nice? I've got post. Oh, look at that. Flat 4, Cancross House. They really are hopeless. Have I missed him? I think I have. Isn't that tiresome? Bloody hell. Irritating. Bloody. See, I can't turn over whilst I'm playing, that's the difficulty. Sorry about that, we'll have to start again. Oh, I never thought I'd see them again. And you went through all of these for addresses too, did you?
Yes.
Well done. Now, good and faithful servant. 66, this one. That's going back. Oh, that's a long time ago. Very nice. Oh, look. That's... Now, you should know who that is now. Who's done that?
You've kind of threw me off.
Millie.
All right, okay.
You got the one you got. It's nice, isn't it? Aren't they lovely? I had a marvellous collection of poster cards, and they're all gone. And these are just two of them. I think they're beautiful. But no, I couldn't have kept them. This is nostalgic, this is. And on one occasion I had such a bad cold, they said when I was better, you ought to go and see the local doctor. And I went to see this doctor, she was a lady doctor, said she was very concerned do you smoke? Yes, I suppose I do. He said, well, I will give you a piece of advice. If you smoke, I don't think you will ever make old bones. Spend the money you would have spent on a packet of cigarettes on something else, and that will gradually mount up. If you're then tempted, you think, look at the things you bought, then that's money spent and you can look at the results. Now, why don't you collect art cards? And I thought, that's a very good idea. And I got up to state, as I said, I had these two chest of drawers, and I knew they contained 6,000 and 10,000 cards, so that's 16,000 to begin with, and I had almost half of that amount in cardboard boxes. So I reckon I had over 20,000 art cards when it came, and all of those that were in reasonable condition I sent to the university. The others I cut the stamps out and gave the stamps to charity, and the cards were chucked in the waste paper basket. All the rest went to university.
So if that was all postcards, imagine how many cigarettes you would have smoked.
Yes, quite. Well, what do you think people do smoke?
Very true.
Yeah. I like that Larry. He was a Manchester painter, and he painted the people at their folk festivals living in those poor little cottages in the built-up area. Very interesting. Have you come across Lowry before?
Yeah.
What are you filming now?
I'm filming you.
Oh, they've seen enough of my physique, I think. Anyway, or will have seen it by that time. Makes me sad to see all those. You must take them away home quickly, because I'd like to have some of them back, and that's not good.
No, they're mine, Peter.
They're yours, you're right. Of course I can't take them from you, but I feel really grieved. I realise how much I miss them, but on the other hand, they had to go. And if they bring you pleasure, that's good. Was that all that you had, or did you have more that you didn't bring with you?
That's all the ones I have.
Oh, I thought you had more. To spread them out over 70 years, too.
You feel grieved?
I remember the friendships and how I'd like to talk to them again, and they're no longer here. That's why I felt grieved. They reminded me of friends who'd long since died. Also, in some way, I felt grieved because many of those cards aroused my interest in some I'd ideally like to have now, but of course I've given them up, and that's the end of it. But at the same time, I had overcome that in the year I've been without them, and now seeing them again makes me regret what I lost. Now this is interesting. Dear Peter, after the memorial service, I found myself at 2 requiem masses. Both were quite different but beautiful, underlying the mystery of life and death. Take care. Which means, of course, he knows what sort of person I am. He and I were at the same college of education together, and we had 2 friends.
What is the mystery of life and death?
Well, that one is an entry and the other, they're both gates, but one is the gate into life and the other is the gate into further life. You know, that you come bearing trails of glory, as Wordsworth says in his great poem, and you go to the unknown, really, into this other world. Anyway, you put me off now, I won't say any more about that. Right. So many of the people I've read these cards today are dead.
Do you think you'll ever see them again in the next life?
I'm sure I will. They're all waiting for me on the other side of the threshold. Well, I must say that the circumstances of this whole thing do sound to me a bit like karma. Some things seem to be coincidental, but actually nothing is really coincidental. I think it was a sort of nice consolation for me that someone came along who actually appreciated the cards for what they were and for what they'd been to me. All right, you do as you want, yes, that's right.
Is this too tight? Is that okay?
Let go and I'll tell you, that's all right. It's heavy, isn't it? A bit, very, very loud.
Sorry, Peter.
Oh, how dreadful. It deafens me. I was playing too... You should have told me I was playing too loudly. Did you not think it was too loud? Da, da, da. That's the last one that I played.
Oh.
Now, it doesn't matter. Almost the last, not quite the last. A Spanish song, and I thought it was rather nice. He has a characteristic, see, very quick and then very slow. It doesn't sound too bad. Did you like that dance tune? I thought it was good. Can you look? Oh, you can't. It's a nice tune. Quickly, or it'll be over. No. Is it still the tune? Yeah, I think it's rather a nice tune. Do you remember it?
Yes.
That
yes.
dance tune by John Allen. It's very good quality. All that's wrong is the playing.
It may look like some abstract splatter painting, but is in fact one of the most fundamentally important pictures man has ever created. It's the most detailed image ever of the cosmic microwave background, the light left over from the Big Bang itself, imaging the echo of the explosion that's all around us. And that static microwave left over from the Big Bang itself 14 billion years ago. So what does this latest image tell us? Planck scientist Andrew Jaffe came to give us a tour.
Well, it's a baby picture of the universe. So it's the universe as it was when it was only 400,000 or so years old. The universe was so much simpler then that just by knowing the simplest laws of physics, we can trace backwards all the way to something like a trillionth of a trillionth of a trillionth of a second after the Big Bang, and try to learn about that. Just
Who
the
calls the
pattern
Big Bang,
of the spots on
you
the sky of the
cretin?
microwave.
Well, let's zoom in and take a look at the pattern of those spots. What can you learn from this? It just looks like random
Probably
chunks.
fake.
So it is random colors, but it's random colors.
I'm going
that
to
have a
turn it
particular
off. You
kind
don't
of
want to watch it.
structure.
do you?
No,
The structure of these spots
I've seen what I want
we
to
think
see.
there's something called cosmic inflation happening.
It annoys me. I don't believe half of that. I don't think anybody's been to the moon yet either. That was all fake. You know the, what is it called? The conspiracy theory. There's a book all about it. The different things that the Americans themselves caused that in 12/11, and through that they were able to reduce.
Let's go back to the postcards, Peter.
I'm upsetting you. Sorry.
You seem angered by...
I am cross because I think people listen and believe all that stuff. It's sheer materialism. No question about God or spirit or anything like that. It's all rubbish. They're conjectures given as absolute facts, and it's not true. You must, in your lifetime, have heard scientists say something which is contrary to all we've believed up till now, despite the fact that scientists said it originally. Anyway, never mind. Finish. What can I do for you? Oh, that's what's happening. It's running over my fingers instead of over the painting. "20 years ago, this friend saw all my art collections and asked what was happening after when I died. And he told me about his art department at the university. He said, your postcards, for instance, could be a very good resource for students, and we would like them. So he asked for them. And I was very sad about giving them away, and I was at first appalled when you said you'd seen so many of them. And I thought they were going to be used by students, and now they are just being sold in charity shop. Though I did say they could send them to the charity shop if they were of no use to them, but it never occurred to me that they wouldn't take any written on. I actually don't see why that matters, but there we are. I left them free. You can't give something and then sort of ask for it back, can you?
I suppose I was just wondering, you know, on a personal level for you, Peter, what you believe in, you know, after, you know, what happens after death.
I know that I and my body are not the same thing, because I've seen myself from outside myself. You know I've done that. Suddenly, I saw myself and I thought, where the hell am I? There's me down there, there's the back of my head. I have got a bald patch, and I wasn't very bald then, by the way, but I was thin. And I thought, where am I? Is that really me? And then I thought, can I feel my toe? And I couldn't. And I thought, oh, well, I'm a bit far away from it. And then I made it, and then I had a feeling there was a connection. It went into me from there and went down to me down there. And I felt absolutely free of any tension. My eyesight was perfect. I wasn't wearing my glasses then and my eyes were very bad. I seemed to be absolutely new made, as if I'd just come into the world. My hearing was so acute that I saw a tree outside, and as I looked at it, it was just as if I homed into it with special edges, and there was the kleine indentations in the bark, and there was a beetle on it, and I could hear the noise of his little limbs. Absolutely unbelievable. And I saw things a long way away and with the clarity as if they were under a microscope. And that was because I wasn't using my physical eyes and ears. It was that I was actually out of my body and experiencing one with the spiritual world and natural world, which of course we actually all are one. I won't know if I'm wrong, will I?
Well, yeah.
If there's nothing after death, I won't know. After the hymn tune, that was my little improvisation, especially for you. It was great to have you here. Your discovery of some of my vast collection of art cards and postcard views was a strange coincidence. I never expected to see any of them again. Maybe we shall meet again someday. Kind regards, Peter.
The postcard collector.
You want to put it in? The postcard collector.